So the question I get asked the most at pretty much any point in the season or off season is, who should I buy? Who is the target I should be going after? And the way that I play Dynasty is to chase the potential superstars. The most reliable way to get potential superstars is through your rookie draft. So I have a lot of draft picks. Once a player hits in the NFL, though, they're way too expensive to buy. Guys like Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown are obviously fantastic, but you just can't buy them anymore. They're not affordable. It doesn't make sense to buy them. That ship has already sailed. Luckily, 2021 has bestowed upon us a great gift. There is actually a very affordable potential superstar available right now. His name is Noah Fant. So let's start at the beginning with Noah Fant. Let's go through, I have a process that I use for evaluating rookies. It's called the Bulletproof Process. The process is different for each position, but for tight ends, I'm essentially looking at, well, for any position, I'm looking at how these players perform in metrics that I think matter. It's not a regression model. It's merely just, this guy looks like this guy. I think it's reasonable to suggest that they're probably pretty similar. So when it comes to tight ends, I'm looking for the quintessential run fast, jump high guys. I want ones that produced in college, and I want ones that get drafted early. Draft capital matters to me. Film matters. Draft capital is still primarily driven by film, in my opinion. Noah Fant emphatically checks these boxes. So when it comes to run fast, jump high, nobody does it better than Fant. He went to the 2019 Combine and measured in at 6'4", 249 pounds. Prototype. He ran a 4.50 40-yard dash. His burst score was in the 97th percentile. His agility score is in the 96th percentile. And his catch radius is in the 98th percentile. He is a 1%er. He's the Bill Gates of athleticism for tight ends. Like, he has it all. If you could build a tight end in a lab, it would look like Noah Fant. So the second thing I'm looking at is production. I want my players to dominate. If they dominate in college... if they don't dominate in college, it's pretty unlikely they're going to dominate in the NFL. The players get better, they get more athletic, they get bigger, stronger, faster. It's just harder in the NFL. So in college, I'm looking at market share of receiving yards, and I do it by age. So I'm comparing age 18 production to age 18 production, age 19 production to age 19 production. I want to compare apples to apples. So at age 19, Noah Fant literally doubled the threshold I'm looking for. At 20, he didn't double it, but he went well over the average, well over the threshold. And the impressive thing about that, the thing that I think people understate, is that he did it with another tight end on the team. He had to share with TJ Hawkinson, also a very good tight end. So the next metric that I'm looking at is called yards per team pass attempt. And it's just like it sounds. Receiving yards divided by team pass attempts. And again, I'm comparing it at 18, 19, 20, apples to apples. So at age 19, Noah Fant put up 1.39. The threshold I'm looking for him to hit is 0.70. 1.39 to 0.70. It's not comparable. Noah Fant exploded the threshold. At age 20, 1.37. Threshold, 0.99. Again, destroyed the threshold. So after this sterling college career, Noah Fant shows up to the 2019 NFL draft, and the Denver Broncos made him the 6th highest drafted tight end in nearly 2 decades. Again, elite. Another elite data point for Noah Fant. Then as a rookie, Fant went out and put up 562 yards, which on its own doesn't sound all that impressive. But once you realize he had the 5th most rookie receiving yards by a tight end since 2004, you start to appreciate just how special that is. And then when you factor in his trio of superstar quarterbacks in 2019, you have Joe Flacco, who literally made a career out of a hot 4-game stretch that led to a Super Bowl. Brandon Allen, a guy who I recall having to... I literally had to look him up when he found his way into the starter's chair. I couldn't remember him as a prospect. And then Drew Lock. And let's tangent here for a minute, because this really hammers home what I'm saying about Noah Fant. Aside from a top-level first name, Lock was a bad prospect with bad draft capital, with a bad rookie year. And then for some reason, a ton of fantasy analysts thought, go buy Drew Lock. I'm looking for consistency. I would consider that to be inconsistent. We have bad, 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 probably good. No, definitely not. With Noah Fant, it's completely different. At this point, we have 0 non-elite data points. Everything he has done has been elite for what's expected of him. We have nothing pointing to him being anything other than one of the best tight ends of this generation. And I always say we know a hell of a lot about these players as prospects, but we know pretty much all we need to know after their rookie year. I believe this is true for Noah Fant. And to follow up on that, his sophomore year, so in 2020, his second year in the NFL, he finished as tight end 8. In my research, what I found is that most of the great tight ends of the past 20 years have back-end tight end 1 finishes as sophomores. It isn't until their third year when they hit that elite range of tight end production. Noah Fant is right on schedule. He should be your number 1 priority on your shopping list this summer. He is the guy that is the most affordable that can break fantasy for you next year. To give you a couple examples, Dynasty League Football is a fantastic website for what it's worth. And they have a trade finder. So you can go and look up players and see what they've been traded for recently. So one of the most recent trades for Noah Fant was Cooper Kupp for Noah Fant in a 2021 third-round pick. Cooper Kupp is one of those guys that I was talking about earlier where you just, like, he's a safe floor. He'll probably be a wide receiver 2 in the, wide receiver 20 to 30 range. And you can plug him into your lineup and it's going to be fine. But Noah Fant has break fantasy potential. It is much better for your fantasy team to swing and a miss on Noah Fant than it is to just hold on to Cooper Kupp. In terms of just raw trade calculator valuations, Dynasty League Football has Noah Fant equivalent to the 203 in Superflex leagues. I would hammer that all day long. Noah Fant is going to be, or at least has the potential to be, much better than anyone that you can get at 203 in your Superflex rookie draft.